Hey, I'm going to do another little outcome for the day tarot reading. Now, with Norman. So the first one I did, I had the fancy cloth out and the candle going. And today the candle's not lit, and Norman's joining us on the table. A little more casual. But for fun, I thought I'd use the Halloween, whatever it's called, Spirit Tarot deck, which is all full of, oh goodness. Can we give me room to do this, Norman? Full of hilarious looking demons and stuff. It's sort of fun. But what I purvey is the Hermetic Kabbalah system of tarot. And when using that to whatever extent, system of tarot, equating it to the Kabbalistic tree of life, which it matches up perfectly with, in my opinion, you can really read any deck. And then the particular art or concept of the deck will just sort of be another layer of interpretation or color. Another thing that I don't necessarily encourage, but I do maybe encourage it for beginners, is I don't use reverse cards. And I can use reverse cards or read reverse cards, but I just rather not to. This comes from doing so many psychic fairs where that hopefully you're busy, and after a number of readings you get a little drained, admittedly, and I just couldn't bother keeping track of which way. Oh, did I switch the deck around when I was shuffling? Oh my gosh! So now they're all mixed up back to we put out 10 cards, and more than half of them are reversed. Oh, maybe I turned it over. Maybe they're all upside down, and just kind of all that hesitancy, like using reverse like that when you're busy with doing lots of readings, resulted for me in some hesitancy. And is this right, or did I do it right, or did I turn them shuffling, or should they be up the other way, or and then you're also not letting, if you have to be all careful about that, then you're not letting the client handle them, which I generally do. So reversals just didn't work for me. So let's see, we cut like the middle, and take a peek. Ninth card 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm putting the ones from the top to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I cut my hair. Ooh, all right. So I have to take my glasses off because I don't recognize these yet. Oh wow, okay. Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, 5 of Wands. All these characters, all 3 court cards. That doesn't make it easy, does it? I'll show you. It's cool. Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles. It's like a knight in battle. Swinging his mace. Page of Wands. Interesting. Looks like a necromancer. Says necromancer. Somebody's talking to a dead person. Hanuman. It's a Chinese monkey god guy, which I'm not familiar with his mythology. He's fairly positive, maybe a bit vengeful. And then, so the outcome to the day, we have a sequence. We'll just finish up what those cards are. Five of Wands, Chimera. So, of course, the Five of Wands, illustrative of kind of conflicting egos, kind of counter ideas in competition or struggle, of kind of creative currents going different directions. So overall, I don't see how in relative isolation today I'm going to be encountering a bunch of different people, but we'll see. Hey, the reading suggests a path of Knight of Pentacles, maybe dealing with sort of some practical issues, finances, budgets, blah blah blah. Page of Wands, though, with the necromancer. Necromancer is so Page of Wands, gosh, it's like a new idea. It's like kind of a noticing this creative direction, which is, I think, encouraged with the Knight of Wands as a new creative direction that is I'm kind of getting into, or that creative energy is sort of found with the page, discovered with the page, and then nurtured with the page, and then kind of taken off into something with the Knight of Wands. So there is that development from the Page of Wands to the Knight of Wands, which is really good to see. The Five of Wands, what's that? Well, maybe it's like overall is kind of a feeling of once more into the fray, kind of once a willingness to kind of, Five of Wands, the Rider-Waite image, of course, is these five guys in sort of this sham fight with big staffs, in definitely a sense of conflict or competition. I usually think of the Five of Wands as a clash of egos. In Kabbalistically, it's the fire element in Mars. The fives are all Mars. So we got this almost a sense of agitation. Interesting here in this deck, it's the Chimera. I think that's how you pronounce it. But really a hodgepodge, so that where that sense of conflict and different things are kind of in this one creature, which is made up of all these different creatures, like the bull and the lion and the serpent, and I'm sure we can find 5 different elements there. So it's like that, and it creates an internal conflict in the creature. It kind of makes sort of a dangerous, vicious creature. So overall, but here I think it's more so a sense of energy and enthusiasm. So I'm going to take advice from this and not rest in the ego that needs to be right, kind of steer clear of arguments. Just enough kind of the sense of entering into this with some sort of positive energy of the page and Knight of Wands from a good position of the Knight of Pentacles, dealing with things in a practical way, which brings this, leads to the ability to invest in something more fun, creative energy that kind of takes off and puts me into a competitive situation, which doesn't need to be difficult. It can be fun as long as you kind of don't have that kind of defensive ego element in that agitation energy. So that's my outcome for the day, and I'll reflect on that and maybe take some notes on that. And our fun little Spirit of Halloween deck. Yay. Thanks.